belongs in a museum.
So do you.
Pick up your fedora, crack your bullwhip, watch out for booby traps, and get ready to punch some Nazis in the face. Because after 15 years, everyone's favorite archaeologist is back for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So let's dust off some figures, facts, and stats for this episode of By the Numbers. Back in 1981, after a final budget of over $22 million, shooting in 4 different countries on 3 different continents, and auditioning over 250 actors for the lead role, Raiders of the Lost Ark became the highest-grossing film of that year. Thanks in part to its charismatic and tough-as-nails star Harrison Ford, who loved playing Indy so much that he sustained 10 real-life injuries throughout the franchise's 5 films.
Why did it have to be snakes?
But in Raiders, after working with over 10,000 snakes and other reptiles, running from a 300-pound, 12-foot diameter fiberglass boulder in 10 takes, mind you, and battling up to 130-degree shooting days in Tunisia, Ford and up to 150 cast and crew members finally met their match: amoebic dysentery. Ford reportedly was so sick that he could only work in 10-minute intervals during this infamous sword fight scene. Well, this infamous cut sword fight scene that they scrapped. I mean, they had to make a sequel, right? Well, a prequel, actually. Set canonically 1 year prior in 1935, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was also massively successful, thanks in part to future Academy Award winner Ke Huy Quan.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones, hold on to your potatoes!
And this sequel/prequel had to go bigger and badder, this time using over 80,000 bugs, which included 50,000 cockroaches, 30,000 beetles, and a bunch of these things. And fun fact, 75% of these bugs actually escaped by their last day of shooting. The massive temple set was made from 5,000 sheets of plywood, 700,000 feet of timber, and 250 tons of plaster. Plus, the 300-foot-high climactic bridge-cutting sequence was filmed with 10 different cameras in one nerve-wracking take. Then there was the final installment, The Last Crusade, which grossed more than the previous 2 films, thanks in part to Sean Connery playing Indy's dad.
Dad? Oh, Dad! Oh, Dad! What?
Despite only a 12-year difference between the 2 actors. And hey, what kind of weird, creepy, crawly stuff did they use in this one? Well, only 2,000 rats. Luckily, unlike Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford has only love in his heart for all of God's creatures. So who's ready for some close encounters of the third kind? Well, 19 years after The Last Crusade, and working under the guise of 5 additional fake registered movie titles to throw off Super Sleuth fans, Indiana Jones returned for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Another successful installment, thanks in part to this iconic 1957 47 Mark IV lead-lined King Cool refrigerator, which, after sustaining at least a 10-kiloton nuclear blast, flying through the air at an estimated 85 to 100 miles per hour, and shown hitting the ground 13 times, left Indiana Jones completely fine. Sure, bombs are scary, but let's talk about quicksand.
I'm calm.
No, it's a dry sand pit.
I'm sinking,
Quicksand
but I'm
is a
calm.
mix of sand, mud, and water.
To escape it, one would need 100,000 newtons of force, equal to lifting approximately 7 1993 Nissan Altimas, meaning this poor snake unwillingly used as a rope would need to equal the strength of a Type 304 6x19 or 37 construction stainless steel aircraft cable of at least half an inch thickness with a breaking point of 22,800 pounds to pull a grumpy archaeologist who failed to retrieve at least 6 artifacts throughout 5 films. Sheesh. Also, did you know that you can see Indiana Jones's shadow against a wall 22 times in 4 films? We were pretty impressed by that number. Oh, and Willie screamed a shockingly high number of times in Temple of Doom. Anyway, no need to thank us, but now you should be more than ready to dial it back a little for the final adventure, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.